so I ended up splitting this video into two parts. I did the outside perimeter of my face first, and I just put on concealer under here so that, and I put it on my eyelids as well. I used the e.l.f. hydrating camo concealer. Because I used all of the other palettes except for this one, I'm going to use this one specifically just for my eyes. I'm going to try and use colors from a lot of the different shades that I used on my face to do an eye look, and we're gonna get creative. I'm trying to keep Halloween looks this year simple, and I gave you some pointers on what you could use to get these to work. Like I said, the stencils, I think it was like $1 something on the Wet n Wild site. They do have stencils. You can always find stencils on like Amazon or Etsy, things like that. And so right now we're going to be focusing on the eyes, and then we'll do all the extra stuff like the blush, highlight, lips, liners, mascaras, maybe even some lashes. So that's what this video is. It's the continuation of the mermaid-esque look. The air just kicked off, but again, there's still hammering and stuff going on. So I'm going to just play music through this. Like again, with the other one, I'm going to speed it up either 1.5 to 2 times speed. And I will probably try and record a voiceover for this when I go to the editing stage of this. So hopefully you guys like this. And yeah, I mean, you don't have to be as colorful as me, but I like color. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started.
Hey guys, it's Rebecca. So I'm starting off with a lighter teal color. If you look at the palette, and I will try and include pictures of like the colors that I'm using, this is more of like a muted teal, and then on this side I'm using what I thought was purple, and it ended up being more pink. I noticed the teal was a little bit patchy when I first applied it, and I did go back over it, and I'm using a little bit of a different shade here to darken the outer edge and the crease. I do have concealer on my lids, and I did set it, and I went with the same like colors that were on the actual mermaid scales. So if you look there up in my hairline, there's teal, there's also that pink shade, and I am using a darker shade here to deepen. This side also looked a little patchy on camera, but for whatever reason it wasn't in person. I don't know why it looks patchy, and this is the eye that has the skin tag, and you'll see further on when I use a base to make the shimmer shades pop that skin tag doesn't quite get covered with the product that I put over it. That is my trouble eye. That's the eye that's 99.9% hidden when I open my eyes. And I'm using a Vasanti brush. I love this brush. It is so easy to get products to blend out. And now I'm using a like navy blue shade. This also looks very patchy. And it was a little patchy, but once you put like shimmers and stuff over it and you build it up, it worked just fine. With the Wet n Wild palette, I found that I had less issues getting the shadows to blend than I did with the original palette that this supposedly dupes, but I did find that they did build quite nicely. That the patchiness that you get at first really, I guess, depends on how much saturation you put on your brush. I'm very light when I dip into the palette, and I actually am using a red here, but it looks more orange on the eye next to that teal. I'm not quite sure about the color placement on this eye with the teal and the red. It was kind of one of those, let's see what this looks like. Ooh, I don't like that. Well, you know, we'll cover it with shimmer. We'll make it work, because I did have that reddish orange in the center of my forehead. Now, I am using the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick for this, and this is a natural hair brush. This is a wooden handled brush set that I bought off of Amazon like years ago, and it works really well at doing exactly this, which is carving out like my lid, putting down concealer, that kind of thing. I don't have any issues with this brush, and it always washes up nicely, and I don't have any issues. Now, this brush here is a BH brush. It's a tiny pencil brush. I didn't quite like how it worked with these shimmers, and I'm using like a minty teal color to kind of counteract the other, the outer corner. So this eye I end up using 4 shades on the lid. The other side I only end up using 3, and for the most part I use the entire Wet n Wild palette for these eye looks. I only use 2 shades that are not from the palette, and those are the JD Glow shadows in, I think it's Anomaly and Peacock. And there I am carving out the next section. I don't know why I only did 3 on the other eye when I did 4 on this one. I guess maybe I didn't, by the time I got to this point, it took like 45 minutes to do the first part of this video, and by the time I got to the eyes, I had already killed 2 camera batteries. So it is what it is. And I noticed that these shimmers went on sheer. I am using a dry brush, and this is a little Morphe shader brush thing. If I could find this brush in a brand that's not Morphe, I'm sure I would be so much happier with it. This brush is a little scratchy, but it does pick up shimmer shades quite well, and I end up going back over these shades with my finger just for the simple fact that the pigmentation on them, to foil them the way I wanted them to, you either need a wet brush with either water, or if you use setting spray. I can't use setting spray on my eyes because it burns like the dickens. So I usually use my finger and or water, and I am pressing over the Fast Base foundation stick to make sure that it's not only smooth but it's even on the lid. And this gold shade from this palette is really pretty. I think it gives some of my other gold shades a run for its money, especially some of the singles. Like I have a single from Colored Rain and it is absolutely stunning, but this is more like a bright gold, whereas the one from Colored Rain and Superstar is more of like a antique-y kind of gold, or like a tarnished gold look. And as you can see, I am tapping back over the lines and stuff with my finger. I did go back into that purple to kind of blend it a little bit better. And then here I am going in with, again, base again for the last shimmer. Again, I don't know why I only did 3 on this. It doesn't make sense to me why I would do 3, but you know, it is what it is. And I'm using a navy blue shimmer on the outer edge, and if you look, it kind of corresponds with the navy blue that matches with my hairline. And then right next to that is that yellow from the Orient Express palette that I ended up putting a shimmer over to kind of foil it. And I'm building that teal color back up because I noticed that I lost it a little bit on the outer edge, so that, and it looked a little patchy. That's why I was like, you know, I'll try and build it back up. And you know, once you add shimmer and stuff, it tends to change the way your crease color looks. Now in the James Charles palette, this would be the artist shade, or artiste, however fancy bullshit he wants to call that. This is the version in this palette, and it's just like the other one. It's a topper shade. It's very sheer. I put it down with a brush and then I smoothed it out with my fingers because it was a little chunky when I put it on the eye, and then I'm just touching up the teal on the outer edge. I end up using 2 different liners in my waterline. This is from L'Oreal. This is a purple indelible liner from them, and this actually, once I put it on, works really well. And then this one is from BH Cosmetics. It's the Power Pencil in teal. And here I go carving out the other eye. I like using the Fast Base foundation stick for a couple of reasons. One, it's a cream foundation, so it's going to go on in a cream format, but once it warms up to your skin, it smooths out quite a bit, and it stays a little bit tacky. Even when I like press over it to like smooth it out, it stays just a smidge tacky. It does kind of feel tacky even on like my face when I use it on my face. But I found that using it underneath shadows instead of a concealer, it gives shimmer shades something a little bit more to stick to because it does stay a bit tacky. And I am using a different shimmer shade on this eye. It's more of like a mossy green kind of shade with a hint of teal. And then I kind of, the next two shades I use are those JD Glow shadows once I get the base down. And I noticed when I was doing the editing for this part, I didn't match up I went a little bit lower when I cut the crease on this. And of course I end up getting a bloop in the crease color. And I do go back and fix that later. But I found that where I had done the green shade in the front, I didn't quite carry the crease, that cut crease high enough to match up with it. So that was a me fault. And that's that JD Glow shadow. And then I went back in with that little pencil brush. And of course, my camera likes the door. But I wanted that. Like, that is what I think of when I think of like mermaid colored, you know, teal or green. That shade that I just put on my lid. Oh my God, it is stunning. And here you'll see me have issues with the skin tag on my eye when I go to put base over it. You can definitely see it. It sticks out like a sore thumb. And this is where I boo-boo up the crease color. That darn skin tag. Now I tried using a brush with that JD Glow shadow. I said screw it, and I picked it up with my finger. Because look at the difference it made with picking that up with my finger versus using a brush. Those duochromes from their Galaxy collection are absolutely stunning. And it's funny, if you look, it looks purple straight on, but if you look towards the corner of my eye, it's more blue, and it does shift blue. And there I fixed the crease color and carried that same shade under my eye as well. Now this is like a more orangey version of that red that I used on the other eye. And there is like a very light white shade in the very top corner of this palette that I used. And I'm doing the two colored pencil thing again. I'm gonna have to find a picture of the palette so I can, you know, crop out the shadows for the shades so you can see what shades I'm using out of the palette. Because I don't think I have a picture of this palette like saved. And with my hard drive crashed, you know, when my hard drive crashed, I lost so much. Now I did use the pink and the red that I used on my eyes for the blush. And because the next section of this video was so long, I stopped with the blush. So part 3 is going to be the highlight, all the detail work. I get out some stencils and I use them to do like little starfish designs on my face and neck. I do swirls on my necks. I add rhinestones. I add that super shock shadow like all over the place. And I also do my lip color. So part 3 of this is going to be the rest of the face, the detailing work on my face, as well as anything that I forgot to do here. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video. And here is the finished look. The lip are 3 Wet n Wild lip colors, as well as that JD Glow shadow that's on the outside edge of my eye tapped into the center. And there's all the detailing work that will be in part 3. So hopefully you guys like this mermaid-esque video. I had a lot of fun recording this. Editing, not so much. But I really love how all the colors and stuff work together, and I end up using the water activated liquid liners, or the water activated liners in my brows to kind of like make them colorful, because I already have natural dark brows anyways, and as I age I'm waiting for my first gray one to show up. But here is the whole face, and I do have an e.l.f. lip gloss over the lips, so it brings out the shimmer of that JD Glow shadow so much more. This is a blooper. My cat did something weird. Anyways, see ya. Okay, so the air just kicked off. I got a little carried away. I have these cute little stencils that had little starfish on them, so I used them. And too bad I don't have like a mermaid looking top, and I could, you know, do something like this. But I don't. So here is the finished look.
The like rhinestone part of it, I'll probably cut and add to the other video. I'll probably still leave it in this one anyways. But yeah, this is the finished everything. So what do you guys think? I know all the extra stuff was a little carried away, but the eye look should be pretty easy. I used the Makeup Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick to do like cut crease kind of stuff, and I ended up using the 2 of the 3 JD Glow shadows on this eye and 1 of them on my lips. The lipsticks, 1 of them, well, there's 3 Wet n Wild lipsticks there, and then I covered it with the e.l.f. gloss. So yeah, this is everything. I feel like I need something like right here on either side, but I'm done. I quit because it. Oh, no, yeah. I had lipstick on my canines. Okay, it's gone. Anyways, so yeah, I did some decorative stuff on my neck. I did some like swirly things, and I used eyeshadow from the Wet n Wild palette for blush. And yeah, I really love how this turned out. God, it's gorgeous. Especially the lip color. The lip color is stunning. Look at this. It's that hot pink shade and then the Sea Seduction shade. And alright, let's see. So the hot pink is Oh My Dolly. Then Sea Seduction is what I put on first, and then Bewitched is what I used on the outer edges. And then I used a brush to kind of get the purplish pink effect, because one of them's like a metallic blue and the other one's like a metallic purple shade. And then the JD Glow shadow is like a perfect mix of the purple and blue. So I ended up not using that e.l.f. mermaid shadow. And I guess somehow or another the square I had here didn't, or I should say the little scale I had here didn't turn out. But it is what it is. I'm a little lopsided anyway, so even the centerpiece is off kilter. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, even if it was just the eye look, would you be able to recreate this? So yeah, mermaid vibes. See you guys later. And hopefully you're enjoying the week of Halloween.